Here is a number, $1.2 million. That is not what you need to retire. That is not your dream house. That is not some inheritance you missed. That is the approximate amount the average person silently spends away between ages 25 and 40. Not on emergencies, not on necessities, but on upgrades they never consciously chose. The nicer apartment, the newer car, the subscriptions that multiplied like bacteria, the dinners that somehow cost $80 now instead of $20. Nobody robbed you, nobody forced you, you just kept up. And here is the part that should bother you. Most of it felt completely reasonable at the time. Meet Alex. Alex is 28. He just got a raise. His first real raise, 18%, after 3 years of grinding. He deserves it. He earned it. So he does what almost everyone does. He moves into a better apartment. Nothing crazy, just a place without a broken heater and neighbors who respect the concept of midnight. He leases a slightly better car. He starts eating out more because finally he can. He upgrades his phone. He gets a gym membership at the nicer place. Each decision completely defensible. Collectively, they just consumed 80% of his raise before he even noticed. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is not a spending problem. It is a psychology problem wearing the mask of a spending problem. Here's why this matters right now, specifically. We are living through the most aggressive cost of living increase in a generation. Salaries are moving, and for the first time in years, a lot of people in their late 20s and 30s are finally seeing real income growth, which means the trap has never been more perfectly set. Let us actually run the numbers, not hypothetically, precisely. The median salary for someone entering the workforce around 25 in a developed economy is roughly $40,000 to $45,000 a year. By 35, with normal career progression, that number is closer to $65,000 to $75,000. By 40, assuming no catastrophic career events, you are somewhere between $80,000 and $95,000. That is a real increase, substantial. On paper, your life got significantly better. But here's what happened in parallel. At 25, Alex rented a place for $900 a month. By 30, he's at $1,400. By 35, $1,900. Each move made sense. Better neighborhood, more space, a parking spot that did not require a lottery. The cumulative rent increase alone across 15 years was roughly $115,000 more than if he had stayed conservative. The car situation is worse. At 25, Alex drove something used and reliable. By 28, he financed something newer. By 32, he upgraded again because the old lease ended and the new model was just better. Average car payment in the US right now is around $730 a month. At 25, Alex was paying $180. That delta, $550 a month over 10 years, is $66,000 gone. And that doesn't count depreciation, insurance upgrades, or the fact that the newer car cost more to maintain. Stay with me because the next part is where the real money disappears, and most people never even seeing it happening. Subscriptions, food, the invisible category. At 25, Alex spent about $300 a month on food, groceries, the occasional dinner out. By 32, between meal kits, DoorDash, work lunches, and the social life that comes with having disposable income, that number is $750. The delta, $450 a month over 7 years, is $37,800. Subscriptions in 2015 were maybe 2 or 3, streaming, maybe a music app. Today, the average household runs 4.5 paid subscriptions at a combined cost of around $219 a month compared to $30 a decade ago. Small number, massive compounding problem. Now here's where the math becomes genuinely uncomfortable. Every dollar Alex spent upgrading his lifestyle between 25 and 40 is not just a dollar spent, it's the future value of that dollar that vanished. A dollar invested at 25 in a basic index fund, earning the historical average of roughly 7% annually, becomes approximately $3.87 by 40. So when Alex upgraded his rent by $500 a month at 27, he didn't spend $500. In terms of what that money could have become, he spent closer to $1,800. Run that math across every upgrade, every lease, every subscription, every restaurant step-up, and you get to that $1.2 million figure. Not in today's dollars of spending, in the future value of the compounding those dollars never got to do. This is the hidden cost of lifestyle inflation. It's not the price tag, it's the compounding ghost that follows every upgrade you make. Here's what the financial internet will tell you. Avocado toast, daily lattes, stop buying things you don't need and you'll be rich. That's not the point, and it's never been the point. The real mechanism is not about small luxuries, it's about the structural upgrades, homing, transportation, food systems that silently recalibrate your entire cost baseline. Once you move into the nicer apartment, you don't move back down. Once you lease the car, you lease again at renewal. Once the restaurant tier shifts, the old places start feeling like a step backward. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You adapt. The upgrade becomes the new normal, and normal requires maintenance. Alex is not reckless. Alex is not irresponsible. Alex is completely average. And by 40, Alex has a good job. And by 40, Alex has a good income, a comfortable life, and almost nothing saved. Because every raise he ever got was pre-spent by a version of himself who felt he had finally earned it. Here is where this gets heavier. Retirement research consistently shows that most people dramatically underestimate how much they need. The general guidance, save 10 to 15% of income, was calculated assuming relatively stable lifestyles and reliable pensions. Neither of those things exists the way they used to. And yet, lifestyle inflation is running faster than savings rates in most developed economies. The average American household saves under 5% of their income. The average 40-year-old has less than $100,000 in retirement savings. Meanwhile, the lifestyle they have built by 40, the rent, the car, the food spend, the subscriptions, requires somewhere between 60 and 80% of their current income just to maintain. You see the problem. They have built a life they cannot afford to retire from. The cruel irony is that lifestyle inflation does not feel like a decision. It feels like progress. It feels like finally arriving. The apartment upgrade felt like self-respect. The car felt like practicality. The dinners felt like living. And they were, in a sense. Alex did live, fully, comfortably, contentedly. He just did not do the one thing that would have changed his math entirely. He never asked which upgrades were actually making him happier and which ones were just restoring a baseline that kept resetting itself higher. Because here is the question nobody asks out loud, and it is the one that actually matters. Research on happiness economics, specifically the work coming out of Princeton and later replicated across multiple studies, suggests that beyond a certain income threshold, somewhere around $75,000 to $100,000 annually adjusted for local cost of living, additional spending has almost no measurable effect on day-to-day emotional well-being. The nicer apartment did not make Alex significantly happier than the decent one. The new car gave him about 3 weeks of elevated mood before it became just the car. The restaurant tier shift was enjoyable until it was just dinner. But the compounding he did not do, the $1.2 million in future value he spent instead of built, that has a very specific emotional cost. It is called financial anxiety at 42. It is called working 10 years longer than planned. It is called watching a market rally and feeling nothing because you are not in it. Lifestyle inflation is not the enemy of luxury, it is the enemy of options. Every upgrade Alex made narrowed his future choices while expanding his current comfort. And the exchange felt invisible because it happened one reasonable decision at a time. So here is where we land. Alex is 40 now. Good job, nice apartment, decent car, busy social life, and a retirement account that, if he's honest with himself, he doesn't look at very often. The math is not impossible to fix. It never is. But it requires something that feels almost countercultural right now, which is to consciously choose not to upgrade, even when you can afford to treat a raise as a savings event before it becomes a lifestyle event. Not forever, not monkishly, just first. The question nobody can answer for you is this: at what point did your spending actually improve your life? And at what point was it just the cost of staying on a treadmill that kept accelerating? Because the treadmill does not care how fast you run. It just keeps moving. If this made you think differently about a raise you got or a move you made, drop it in the comments. And if you know an Alex, share this with him. He probably won't thank you, but his 55-year-old self